Good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you to the Authentic Entrepreneur podcast. And this is Real Talk, Real Entrepreneurs. And today I would like to gladly welcome Heather Pham, who's going to be talking about her journey as an entrepreneur and what she does now. Heather, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Michelle, for having me,
You're welcome.
inviting me to share what I know. I love sharing. I love to help people get to be a better version of themselves. My journey, I don't know how far you want to go back, but I
Mhm.
was born in Vietnam during the Vietnam War. And my parents did everything they could to, get us out of that country so that we can have a better life, a better
Mhm.
future. So they spent their whole life savings to just, try to get us to escape Vietnam. And I was one of the lucky ones that actually made it to the United States. A lot of people died. A lot of people died in during the journey to escape. Um, we we went on like a fishing boat. Our fishing boat was about 8 feet wide and 49 feet long, but it's a
Mhm.
wooden fishing boat, and it had 115 people on that tiny boat. And we left Vietnam. It took us 5 days and 5 nights to leave, and finally got to island. And 5 days and 5 nights with no food, hardly any water. I was a child. I was starting at 6 years old. That was when my parents had the courage to, put my brother and I on to these little fishing boats and try to get us to escape Vietnam. We couldn't do it all as a family because it costs a lot of money to, get people to help you to leave. And also the other thing that people run into is if you leave and something happens, and you have to return to the country, you would be in prison for sure.
Mhm.
So at starting at 6 years old, my mom put my brother, my oldest brother, and we were just children. I was 6 years old. My brother was 11. And our parents put us on this fishing boat to leave Vietnam. It took us 3 different tries to finally got to leave Vietnam. So we came to America with nothing, with nothing. We didn't speak English. We didn't have anything. And we started out with nothing. But at 18, I started my business. My first business I started at 18 years old, which was a nail spa. So I did
Really?
that for many years. And so, but I love education. So I went back to college and got my nursing degree. So I'm a nurse by trade.
Awesome. What made you want to become an entrepreneur?
My mom would always instill in us either education or a business. So you choose whichever one. You have to do one or the other.
Hmm.
Education was a way out, to out of poverty. We were in po we were immigrants. We were, in poverty. So my mom, told us, either education or you have to have a business. So I did both. I did both.
When you started your journey as an entrepreneur, did you know which way you were going to go in your journey as an entrepreneur?
I didn't know I was 18, and I thought I just the nail. I had been doing nails
Hmm.
since I was 16, so I saw how profitable it could be,
Hmm.
how busy it could get, and how um, it was. I was in high school and I went to school to become a nail technician. I went to beauty school.
Mm-hmm.
And it just went from there. So my mom just said either school or a business. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know where I was going, but that was my start.
Tell us about your journey today and where you are today.
So I was a nurse for a long time. I ran a medical clinic for a long time. And I um, was so busy. I was so good at being busy like everyone else. I had two
Mm-hmm.
children, my kids were I had two kids. And I was, working, I was running a business, I was doing all the thing,
Yep.
cooking, cleaning, running a household, running a business, and I just kept going. I just kept doing, I was like everyone else. I was just going and going. And my body kept giving me all these symptoms, all these
Mm-hmm.
clues, that something was wrong, with the fatigue, with the burnout. My hair was falling out.
Yes.
It was all these symptoms, but I kept ignoring it because all we knew, I was in survival mode, and all you know is just keep going, right? So I would every day after work, I would have to have a nap.
Mm.
A nap was a must because I was running myself to the,
To
I
the
was so
ground. Yeah.
tired. So, but I kept going. I kept going. Not until 2013 when a cancer diagnosis came. So I was
Mm-hmm.
diagnosed with cancer. And as you know, cancer, when you have a diagnosis of cancer, you have to
Mm-hmm.
stop. You have to stop doing whatever you're doing to get
Yes.
treatment. So my body, I didn't know at the time, was giving me all these clues to stop it, to just, take care of yourself, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
listen to it. So then cancer was the thing that made me stop. So I had to stop to take care of it. But during that time, no one at work knew I was going through a cancer diagnosis
Mm-hmm.
because I was this strong person. I was
Right.
this really my parents instilled in me that you are so strong. That's why we sent you and your brother so you can take care of your brother. At 6 years old, they instilled that in me that I am the strong one. That's why they were able to send me without worrying that I'm not gonna that I would be able to take care of myself and my older brother. So that was me. That was my identity. That I'm the strong one. I'm the survivor. I'm the person that keeps going. So when I had the cancer diagnosis, I didn't let anybody at work know that I was going
Mm-hmm.
through a cancer diagnosis. I had my I had my cancer surgery on a Wednesday,
Oh,
and I went back
really?
to work on a Monday. That
Wow.
was that was the that was me. That was I kept going. And then I had 32 days of radiation treatments,
Mm-hmm.
and I went 32 days at lunchtime on
Mm-hmm.
my lunch break. I would drive to the cancer clinic and got my radiation because that's what I knew. I knew just keep going, just keep
Going
going. You can't
right.
stop. So I did that, and no one knew. No one knew I was struggling. No one knew, and I didn't want anybody to know because I didn't want anybody to know that I was weak. So I
Mm-hmm.
just kept going. So that was my first wake up call. During the
Mm-hmm.
treatments, I kept asking towards the end of the treatments, I kept asking all of my providers, my doctors, my surgeons, what can I do so I don't get the cancer again? And they could not give me any advice on what I need to do so that I don't get the cancer again.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first time that in my the light bulb went up off in my head, and I thought, oh, now I am responsible for my health. So then I started learning all that I can learn on how to prevent cancer, how to heal myself. And so I did that on a physical level.
Mm-hmm.
I learned
Would
all
you
the
s-
herbs.
mhm. Would you say that was your breaking point?
It was, yes, it
Mm-hmm.
was. It was my wake up call. That was my very first wake up call to stop doing what I'm doing. I
Mm-hmm.
was doing too much. I was your body can't handle all of this
Right.
keep going energy. So your body is so intelligent. It gives you all these clues all of the time, but we don't listen.
Hmm. Now tell us about what you're doing today.
So after the cancer diagnosis, I learned everything that I could for how to heal the physical body. Fast forward to 2021 when my mom passed away.
Oh, I'm so
When my mom
sorry.
passed, um, now I see it as it's a huge gift that she gave me because without having to go through that, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I wouldn't know how to heal myself and others today. So when my mom passed away during COVID, she passed away and I was distraught. I was devastated. And I didn't know what to do. So depression set in,
Hmm.
and then anxiety set in, and then panic attacks set in. And
Hmm.
I did everything I could. I'm a nurse. I know how to take care of myself. And then
Hmm.
on top of that, I knew how what herbs to take, what vitamins to take, what to do for your physical body. All of that wasn't helping the depression. It wasn't
Hmm.
helping the anxiety. It got progressively worse and worse and worse. And when it gets really bad, I would go to my acupuncture doctor and I would beg him to take it away. So
Hmm.
he would, do an acupuncture session and the the symptoms would go away for about a week and it would return. It would return, but even worse. Each time it would get worse
Hmm.
because your body is giving you these clues to get to really to the deep cause of why these symptoms happen. So as a nurse, I knew that the only thing the doctors could offer me are medications, anti-anxiety, antidepressant medications, and therapy. And as a nurse, I knew that was not my answer. I knew I did not want to go down that path. So then I began to meditate. I began to look inward and meditate and ask my body, what is it that is, what is it that I need to to get rid of these symptoms? So as I meditate and do hypnosis on myself, it brought me back to when I was 6 and when I was abandoned,
Hmm.
by my family,
Hmm.
for, leaving Vietnam. And when you are 6, you don't know what to do. You don't know
True.
how to process all of these emotions from that trauma of having to leave your family, leave everything leave your country, get on this tiny boat, fishing boat, and you don't know if you're going to live or die. Um, I didn't know how to process it. So I just stuck that memory in my subconscious mind
Hmm.
for over 40 years. It was there. I never talked about my journey, my the trauma of leaving Vietnam.
Hmm.
I couldn't talk about it. It was as if it didn't happen because when we go through a traumatic event, we either process it or we disassociate from it. We lock it up. We lock that memory up.
Hmm.
But our subconscious mind is so smart. It remembers everything. So when my mom passed away, that memory of that 6-year-old me came alive and said, your mom is now leaving you again. This time she's abandoning you forever, So, process that 6-year-old trauma. So when I did that, I kept meditating, I kept doing more hypnosis, and the symptoms would get better because I was healing that 6-year-old part of me that was abandoned. Um, you know, so if you don't get to the root cause of why you have the issues that you have, the symptoms will be there just to
Right.
tell you there's more to do. Yeah, there's more work to do. So then once I healed that 6-year-old me, the symptoms went away, the anxiety went away. At that, before that, I was homebound. I couldn't drive. I couldn't leave my house. That the panic attacks would set in to
Hmm.
where I couldn't get into the car without,
That's how I was. Yeah.
yes, it's just horrendous. You know, it's debilitating.
It is.
But as I was helping, you know, as I was doing more inner work, because your body knows all the answers for you. As I was doing that and healing and healing the 6-year-old, the symptoms just gradually, you know, went away. And so I kept learning more on, you know, how do I do this? You know, how do I get rid of all the symptoms, all the depression, and all the anxiety and panic attacks? So I kept, you know, kept getting more into more how it works, you know, how your energy work, how the traumas affect us as adults today. Our childhood traumas affect us
Hmm.
today. You know, we don't think about that. Most people don't think about, you know, your childhood traumas affecting you today. So then I kept learning more and more about energy work, and I became a um, emotion code practitioner where you know, you go back to the each traumas that you've had in your life, and you clear all those, you release all those emotions that you don't process at the time. Then once those emotions are gone, that trauma no longer affects you, because the emotions that we trap, we that are stuck in our body, that is what causes us to have all these symptoms, and all these triggers. So once you release all those emotions, that trauma no longer bothers you because it doesn't have any emotional charge to
Hmm.
affect you.
Now
So
that's
that's
kind of what you and I did, correct? You
yes,
released
yes,
my traumas. And
yes.
we and I learned some amazing things when you did my all my traumas. And we can discuss that some if you'd like.
Oh, yes, yes. So what a lot of people don't know is that we inherit ancestral traumas from our ancestors. You know, we don't just get their hair color and their eye color and some of their personalities. We inherit their traumas too. And we care, you know, it's passed on in our DNA. And when it's passed on, you carry it, and you pass it on to your offsprings. Um, and some of the generational traumas are poverty and
Hmm.
famine. You know, many of our ancestors go through that. Many of our ancestors go through separation from their families, from you know, there's so many traumas that people go through, um, that affects them. You know, and
Hmm.
so if you're carrying a generational trauma of, say, poverty or um, or famine,
Hmm.
and we are not in, you know, we don't have that as, you know, we don't have that now in our life. But if we are carrying that trauma and we want to make a lot of money, that trauma is going to affect us on how
Very
we show
true.
up in the world, how we run our business, how we attract money into our life, how we um, how we, you know, get money and success and all of that. So when I clear for you, if you don't mind me sharing what
Definitely.
I
Go
clear
ahead.
for you. So for you, Michelle, what I clear for you was famine, which you inherited from your dad's side 14 generations ago. Um, Someone on that, you know, your dad's side of the family experienced famine so severe, so traumatic, where they trapped that in their DNA and they kept passing it on, and they passed it on to you. Um, and also poverty was another is another one that I clear from your
Hmm.
dad's side, 4 generations. That's like 100 years ago. Someone from your dad's family, um, you know, experienced poverty so severely to where they trapped that trauma, and they kept passing it on. And then war. was one of another one that I clear for you. You got that from your mom 5 generations ago, so 125 years ago. Someone from your mom's side experienced that, and I cleared that, and I cleared 83 emotions from those three traumas. And I cleared that not only from you, but I cleared from all of your ancestors, your dad, your mom, your mom, your dad, your aunt, all your ancestors, and your kids, and their future
Future
kids.
generations. Yep.
Yes. When that is clear, um, you no longer have famine and poverty in your field. So now, if you want to go and make more money, you can do that because you don't have that in your DNA anymore.
And that was a blessing. I learned a lot from that. So what
What
kind
have
of
you felt?
I felt
What else have you
positive
felt?
energy. I've had more opportunities come to me
That's amazing.
since then. So
Yes.
it's been amazing. Things I would have never thought could be possible became possible.
Oh, yes, we are born limitless. We don't have any limit. But because we adults in our lives put limits on us, especially from birth to 7 years old, that's when they keep putting these limitations on us. And when there are limitations, we don't go for what we want. We don't achieve what we want because our subconscious mind is so strong that,
Yes.
when you have these limitations and you go for what you want, it's going to try to say, no, 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 Michelle, don't do that. So that's another thing that I work on for a lot for people are limiting beliefs.
Hmm.
When we're born, we don't have any limits. That's why when you ask children if they know how to do something, if they know how to play a piano,
Hmm.
a 3-year-old would say, yes, I know how to play the piano. But then once parents and teachers and, people around them put limitations on them, when they're teenagers and you ask them, can you play the piano? They're going to say, no, they don't know how to play the piano because these limitations are put on them. So I'm able to, because we're all connected, we're all energy and we're all connected. I'm able to connect to your subconscious mind and figure out what limitations you have and clear them. And when I clear them, you're able to really be who you are and who you want to be,
That's
right?
amazing. And what advice would you give to others right now?
Um, the answers are all within us. So I work with manifestation. I help people manifest things that they want, and a lot of people don't talk about the way you manifest things. Um, well, because we're all energy, we have to vibrate high. We have to vibrate high to get what it is that we want.
Hmm.
If we are every single emotion has a frequency to it. So shame is the lowest frequency, which is 0 to 20, and shame, guilt, anger, all of that is really low vibration. And so a lot of us are trying to manifest from fear. Fear is a very low vibration.
Yes.
So if you're trying to manifest from the vibration of fear, you're going to get more fear. So you're going to get more. The universe doesn't care what you want. The universe doesn't care if you want $10. It doesn't care if you want $1 million. It doesn't care if you want $100,000. It doesn't care. You have to line yourself up to that frequency to get it. So most people manifest from fear and lack and scarcity. So the universe has no, will give you more scarcity, more fear, more lack because you're vibrating at that. So think of us as walking magnets. We're a magnet for everything. Our heart has an electrical magnetic field That's how they can see that. That's how they can figure out if you're still alive or not. If you haven't, you go to the hospital, they'll put an EKG on you.
Yes.
Your EKG puts out this electromagnetic field about 6 feet wide, and that's how they're picking up on your electromagnetic field from your heart. So that's how they know if you're still alive or you're dead. So we are walking around with this energy field, and we will attract what we're vibrating at. Just like the radio station, if you are not tuned into a specific radio station, you will not hear what that radio station is broadcasting out. You will just hear static if you're not on the exact that same wavelength that they're on. So the same thing with us when we want to manifest something, and your vibration is staticky, the universe will send you staticky things into your life. But if you're vibrating high, you're vibrating at a high frequency, then you're able to call in what it is that you want, manifest things that you want easily, because the universe is matching your vibration. So if you are in love, joy, so joy and love and appreciation are very high vibration. So what I would recommend for everyone to do is be in joy and be in appreciation. Appreciate everything. Appreciation has a very high vibration, one of the highest ones, even higher than gratitude. So when you are grateful for something, someone has to do something for you to be grateful for. So therefore, the vibration of gratitude is a little bit less than appreciation. Appreciation has such a high vibration that when you're in that vibration, the universe will match that and will give you what it is that you want. So if you are in a job that you don't like, appreciate it. Appreciate your job. Love your job. Appreciate it, because the universe will send you another job that you are going to appreciate. But if you hate your job, you hate what you're doing, the universe will match that, will give you another job that you're going to hate, that you're not going to enjoy. So
Mhm.
whatever you're doing at this time, and even though you don't like it, whatever circumstances that you are in right now that you don't like, and you want to change, you cannot be in a vibration of I hate this, or I don't like this, or I want something else. If you are in the vibration of appreciation and gratitude and love and joy, the universe will send you the right job, the right people, the right clients, the right opportunities that will match that. So that's one of my the recommendation that I would give to anyone, um, because when you appreciate something, it grows. Just like when you buy a house and it appreciates, guess what it does? The price goes up. So whatever you appreciate will grow, will get bigger, will get more. You will get more of that.
So, Heather, tell everybody how they can contact you.
My website is the best place to contact me. It's www.traumarelease.us. So that's traumarelease.us. So I specialize in trauma, getting rid of traumas for people. And another thing with manifestation, all of these lower emotions that we have from our traumas, they are blocking your manifestation because they're lowering your vibrations. And when I work with people and I release these traumas and these limiting beliefs and these broadcasting messages that you broadcast into the universe subconsciously, your vibrations will raise. It will raise up so high to where you can manifest things easily. Whatever it is that you want has already happened, but you just have to get all of this, junk and trash out of the way so that your vibration is high and you will be able to manifest things into your life easily. Um, so there's so many things that I do. I work a lot with traumas from the past, from past lives, because we have all these lives that we've had in the past. And when each life that we have all these traumas. And we carry it along with us every single lifetime. We have more and more and more and more each lifetime because whatever we have, we're going to attract more into our life. So, you know, I work with people that have phobias or money blocks or success blocks, when they have these blocks in their subconscious mind, it's going to affect their businesses. It's going to affect how they make money. So I clear all of those for people to really just go for, for whatever it is that they want. Um, but we can't manifest unless we have the high vibration.
Mm.
And meditation is another key factor in raising your vibrations. So when people work with me, it's so easy. They don't have to do anything. They just tell me their traumas. They list out their traumas and all of their fears and their phobias and their whatever, their childhood, when they grow up
Hmm.
with their childhood beliefs. If you have a belief that money is hard to make, or if you have a belief of um, money is evil or success is for other people, I must be small, I must dim my light, or if you have a belief that money doesn't grow on trees, all of those beliefs affect the way you attract money. So I'm able to um, connect to your subconscious mind, figure out when you form these beliefs, and I release them. A lot of these beliefs you inherit from your ancestors, and I'm able to also figure out, if you inherited these beliefs from your ancestors, and I can clear them from, from all your whole lineage.
Thank you, Heather. That was amazing. Thank you for joining me today. And I want to thank you for coming on and sharing that with us. That was amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. And
Oh, you're
I'm
welcome.
I just want to share, life is so magical. Life is so,
Yes.
it can be easy. What you believe you are worthy of, you're going to get.
Yes.
That's the way the universe works. So if you have all these beliefs all these things are not available for you, then you can try and hustle and do work hard. It won't come because these beliefs are really, really
Still
strong.
within you. Yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you
All
so,
right.
so
Well,
much.
thank you. You have a great day now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.